now we're going to talk about congruent triangles related to what is called HL congruence. So this works out to be the special case for side-side angle. Now HL correspond to very specific things, specifically hypotenuse leg congruence. Now if the word hypotenuse is ringing a bell, it's because we're talking about very specific triangles. We're talking about right triangles. Okay? So there's a couple different ways to make this argument. If I have a right triangle, if I have hypotenuse leg congruence, it means I know that the hypotenuse of each one are the same and one of the legs are the same. Now for argument's sake, I'm going to do this and this, but it turns out it doesn't matter, okay? So here's the deal. Is the configuration side-side angle? Yes, it really is. So this is side-side angle, but the difference is it works because it is a right triangle. Why does it work? Okay, well, I can make a couple different arguments. Let's try trig. First off, if we are looking at this angle here between these two, right? We know this and this are the same, right? This is the adjacent, this is the hypotenuse, this is the adjacent, this is the hypotenuse. I know that the cosine of that angle, right? The cosine of that angle will be the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and the cosine of this angle will be the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which means that these two angles must be congruent because they have the same adjacent over the hypotenuse. Therefore, they must have the same cosines. Make sense? Now, does that work if I'm looking at this? In other words, what if I moved this so it wasn't these two, right? Right, let's get rid of that. What if it was these two? Well, all that means is I'm still looking at congruent triangles because now I'm just talking about this. It just means that this is the adjacent hypotenuse. It just means that different angles are the same. And if these two angles are the same, then these two angles have to be the same. By the way, if this angle is the same, that's side angle side, which we know guarantees congruence. Okay? So hypotenuse leg is certainly a thing, and what it really is side-side angle, but it's the special case that actually works. Okay? Now, what are LL, LA, and HA? You should probably be able to see what those are. LL means leg, leg. LL is leg, leg. And that just means you're looking at a right triangle. Personally, there's not much point to this, but just in case you see this, you need to know what it means. It would mean that the legs, like this leg and this leg and this leg and this leg, and two right triangles are congruent. Is leg, leg, hey wait, that's side angle side because the right triangles, the leg has to be next, right? Is this just side angle side by another name? And the answer is yes. What is leg angle? Well, let's take a look. If we're talking leg angle, that's what leg angle. Really, this is another one of the ones that we already know, but it's specialized for right triangles. Like I said, these aren't necessary, but what it means is we got a leg, right, and an angle. Now, it's got to be the correct angle, so it could be this angle and this angle, that is the angles opposite, or it could be this angle and this angle. So if I knew like this angle and this angle, hey wait, that's angle side angle. In other words, leg angle could be angle side angle, or in a slightly different situation, this angle and this angle, hey, that's angle angle side. So leg angle is just another way of saying angle side angle or angle angle side in a right triangle. And hypotenuse angle is much the same thing. So when you're looking at HA, which is just code for hypotenuse angle, right? You're looking at knowing that the hypotenuse, right, is congruent, and then one of the angles. Now in this case, either way, it doesn't matter. This one is always angle angle side because you have this always opposite the right angle. Okay? So these different ways, LL, LA, and HA, are actually just things we already know in disguise. The reason they're in disguise is because we're talking about right triangles. Personally, you don't need to know these. The one you will definitely need to know is HL, because that is definitely different from the other things we've already learned. So here's some examples. Determine if the two triangles are congruent. If you are, state if you know how. So we have vertical angles. Okay, so what I seem to have is side angle, side angle. I don't see any right angles. Not enough info. When I get the right angles in there, then maybe it does help. So what do we have here? Ooh, side, 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 angle in between. I would say side, angle, side. Because they're right angles, could you say leg, leg also? You could. Personally, I would go with side, angle, side. Easier, yeah? That's all it is. What about this? I don't see a right angle, right? And I see a side, angle, side configuration here, and an angle, side, side here. Not enough info. Okay. Hey, what's that? That is side, 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 right? What is this? Angle, side, side, angle, side, side. Do you see any right angles anywhere? No, not enough information. Switch up colors here. Right angle, side angle, side, side angle, side, or leg, leg if you want to go there. Okay. And let's take a look. Two right angles. Hey, look, we know because of the reflexive property, that's congruent. This is where we actually get to earn our money. This is opposite this, so that's a hypotenuse, and that's a hypotenuse, and this must be a leg. Here's why it wouldn't work otherwise, because this would be side, side angle. But side, side angle does work as long as they're right triangles, so, right, HL. Reflexive property again. So we've got a side, we got an angle and an angle. So angle, angle, and then a side, angle, angle, and a side. This is opposite the 2 arc, so is this, or it's next to the right angle. So I would argue that this is angle, angle, side. Okay? Could you say it is leg, angle also if you wanted, because they are technically a leg and then some other angle? Yes, you could. Right? But you don't have to. In fact, I'd prefer if you didn't. It's just easier to stick with angle, angle, side. All right, same idea to get hypotenuse angle. So vertical angles gets us this, the right triangle, so it's possible to have a hypotenuse. So that'd be because of vertical angles. Where is the hypotenuse? Well, it's got to be this side and this side because they're opposite, so the right angles, those are the only 2 possibilities for the hypotenuse in each case. So to get hypotenuse angle, we got the angle, we need to add the hypotenuse, right? So here we get the right angle again because of vertical angles. This is a hypotenuse, this is hypotenuse, so we need a leg. Let's pick one. So maybe we say this and this. Would that be a possibility? Sure. Could I have picked this and this, or this and this? There's a bunch of combinations that work as long as you pick one leg. So I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to say UZ, right, congruent to ZY. There are a bunch of other combinations that work in this particular case. Okay, LL, leg, leg, which is code for side, angle, side, which means I just want to add this side and this side. So KM, congruent to DF. Leg, leg, side, angle, side again. PR, congruent to XV. Okay. It's just less to keep track of if you relate them back to what they are. Hypotenuse leg. Now, hypotenuse leg is unique. This is a hypotenuse, and this is a hypotenuse, and we don't know they're congruent. So we're going to have to add that because these 2 are legs, not right. They're not the hypotenuse. So we know then that VW has to be congruent to BC in order to add enough information to get hypotenuse leg. Leg angle. Well, I got a leg here because of what? Reflexive property, right? Now, leg angle means that you could add either this angle and this angle, or you could add this angle and this angle. Because remember, leg angle could be angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side. It's your choice. Now, for simplicity's sake, I would say angle F congruent to angle Z. That is this and this, because it just takes one letter to name each of them. If I say this and this, I have to use 3 letters. Okay? Hypotenuse angle. Well, because it's got hypotenuse in it, it's got to be what? The hypotenuse. So therefore, TU congruent to RQ. Sorry, campers, there's only one way to go with this. Right? HL. Well, because of the reflexive property, before we do anything, we know that, which means there's a right angle. We must add the hypotenuse to get hypotenuse leg, which means XC has to be congruent to DE is the additional piece of information we need. So hopefully that's helped you sort out what hypotenuse leg is. That is the special case of side-side angle that actually works, as well as some of the other ones like the whole LA and LL and all that.